In 1666, the red sandstone walls of Agra fort represented the height of Mughal power. It was an unforgeable fortress designed to be impenetrable, serving as the administrative heart of an empire that controlled nearly the entire Indian subcontinent. The perimeter is a gauntlet of overlapping patrols, with thousands of soldiers stationed at every gate, down every corridor, and across every courtyard. This density of sentries ensures that no person can move through the complex without being identified and cleared by multiple layers of security. Inside this complex, Emperor Aurangzeb has placed Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj under house arrest. By holding the Maratha leader here, the Mughals aimed to decapitate the resistance in the Deccan and force the Maratha territories into submission. Shivaji's captivity creates a massive vulnerability for his people. As the central strategist and diplomat for the Marathas, his permanent absence would leave a leadership vacuum that the nascent empire is not yet structured to fill. A direct breakout against the garrison would be a suicide mission. Success requires an unconventional strategy, one that bypasses the physical walls and targets the cognitive habits of the men guarding them. Escaping Agra would not be a victory of military force, it would be a battle of wits, requiring Shivaji to turn the guard's own human nature into the very tool of his liberation. The plan begins with a ruse. Shivaji claims to be suffering from a severe, debilitating illness. By appearing bedridden and frail, he begins to shift the guard's perception of him from a dangerous warrior to a manageable patient. To seek recovery through merit, he begins sending large baskets of sweets out of the fort to be distributed among the poor and religious leaders. This introduces a new, large-scale physical object into the fort's daily logistics. Initially, the security response to this is highly rigorous. Guards stop every basket at the gates, thrusting spears through the contents to ensure no person or weapon is hidden inside the charity offerings. During these first few days, the baskets contain nothing but sweets. Shivaji is establishing a baseline of normalcy, training the guards to expect the same boring, non-threatening cargo at the same time every day. This graph illustrates habituation. When a new stimulus is first introduced, like these baskets, guard alertness starts high, but as the brain realizes the stimulus poses no threat, the neural response drops off to save energy. Within 2 weeks, the spear checks become less frequent. Eventually, the alertness line falls into this red zone, where the guards are merely going through the motions. The baskets have become part of the background. The cognitive blind spot is now fully formed. The guards no longer see a potential escape vessel, they see a daily chore. Their brains have categorized the movement as purely routine and safe. Shivaji waited for this exact moment. He stayed in captivity until he was certain the guards had reached their psychological threshold, the point where they stopped looking and started simply watching things pass. The greatest vulnerability in any security system is often the human element. By weaponizing the guard's own psychological conditioning, Shivaji turned the fort's gate into its weakest point. On the day of the escape, 2 oversized baskets are brought into Shivaji's quarters, but this time they are not filled with sweets. Shivaji and his young son Sambhaji climb inside, concealing themselves beneath a thin layer of offerings. Inside the baskets, the air is thin and the space is cramped. Shivaji and his son must remain perfectly still as the porters arrive, and the weight is hoisted up onto their shoulders.
They reach the final checkpoint. Relying entirely on the weeks of conditioning, the porters carry the baskets directly past the guards. Conditioned to see the cargo as harmless, the soldiers wave them through without a single spear check. Once safely beyond the outer walls and clear of the immediate Mughal patrols, the baskets are set down under the cover of night. Shivaji and Sambhaji emerge, successfully clear of the most secure prison in India. They immediately head for a prearranged location to secure horses. Every mile they put between themselves and Agra reduces the chance of the Mughal cavalry catching them before they reach the safety of the Deccan. Shivaji's return to the Deccan allowed him to consolidate his territories and spend the next 2 decades successfully challenging Mughal expansion. The red walls of Agra fort remained standing, but their ability to contain the Maratha threat had been dismantled by a few baskets of sweets.